Mr. Nair, well, congratulations on taking charge of
Thank you.
Leelaventure Hotel. Let's start a little bit about what's your vision for the company now? And, you've been involved for a long time now, but you will be taking charge of it. So what exactly are you going to bring on board? Some new ideas? How to take the company forward?
Well, we started our first hotel in Mumbai way back in 1986. So in that sense, we have completed a quarter century in the hotel business. Immediately after the success of Mumbai at the Sahar airport, where the international terminal had moved to, we were approached by Lufthansa, which owned Kempinski at that time, asking us whether we could put up a world-class hotel resort in Goa, which we did in 91. And ever since then, our resort is doing exceedingly well. It's the number one resort in terms of RevPAR, highest rate, highest occupancy. It has about almost 200 rooms. Then, of course, we went to Bangalore, seeing the big demand for IT and BPO services. And that was also a big success. And during the privatization program, the iconic property in Kovalam, which was set up by the government, tourism department, way back in '74, came up for an auction. And then we secured that property about 6 years ago and totally modified the club section. And then ever since then, we have been very active in expansion. But now we believe in going expanding through the management contract route. A whole load of owners come to us and say that we will fund any project which you can design and operate. So they feel confident of us as a management company. That's the reason why we have 5 new projects which are on the anvil. One is in Jaipur, one is in Bharatiya City, which is close to the international airport in Bangalore. The other one is Supernova, which is the first property we come down from across the bridge from Delhi in Noida. So these 3 are pure management. And then we have 2 blocks of land in Agra and Lake Ashtonbuddy near our golden property. And there we're developing joint venture basis with co-investors. So the existing 8, which includes of course the last one, which we opened in Chennai 2 months ago, we'll have about 13 properties. These 5 we expect to be ready in about 2.5 years. So there is constant progress, and in the Leela Palace category we have, of course, just 4 of them, starting with Bangalore. So, as I was mentioning, we'll be having 13 properties, and then with a large expanse of India, there's definitely more opportunity for new properties to come up. So we are quite discerning in where we go and want to maintain the quality of our operations. So we are quite picky about location and the service standards. So we'll cautiously go forward with more properties.
You have, so you think for the moment you will not go out aggressively to expand?
Yeah, we want, like we're doing in the past, putting up 100% of our capital. We go through the management contract route. And even some of the existing properties, we are setting up joint ventures where we retain, say, about 30% or 40% of the equity, and we disinvest 60% to a foreign investor. We're talking to wealth funds from the Middle East, so they'll come in as our joint venture partner, and we will, with our name, operate it for long-term period. So it unleashes the asset value of the property, and then the loans are taken for these properties can be paid off based on that. So that's our intention going forward.
Are you looking to add any properties overseas?
We have specific inquiries from several places, but then our immediate consideration is to complete these 5 properties we already started work on. And India is home run, and we have a good name there, and services well known in India. our immediate intention would be to roll out more properties in India.
And so for some time, I think the debt had become a challenge for Leela, but of course many other companies in India. Do you think now with your new strategy, you managed to handle that?
Yes, we have a specific plan of debt reduction. So it's already in place. Along with our Chennai hotel, we had a commercial building of about almost 225,000 square feet. So we could have either leased it or sold it. So we decided to sell it. And the amount we received now, almost 175 crores, has gone towards debt reduction. And that's part of the 750 crores of total funds available for debt reduction from the non-core assets. Not hotel assets, but. And then as I mentioned earlier, we will choose 2 properties where we'll keep 30% on this investment. So we're looking at a drastic debt reduction in the next 2 to 2.5 years. Hotels have become very capital intensive in India. The biggest factor, of course, is land. Most government authorities, they auction the land. Obviously, they can't just give to one person. And then, for example, in Delhi, it became such a scramble that we had to pay almost $150 million just for the land. And we had to compete with the big boys from Dubai and other places. So when that happens, the cost of the land compared to the total cost is very high. And therefore, you need very long repayment periods. In India now, we only get 8-year loans, 10-year loans. So by the time you build the hotel, after getting permission, that'll take 3 years. It's impossible to repay within 5 years. So we now convince the government that it should be treated like infrastructure. Just like airports, ports get 15-year loans, we should also be given long-term loans. So the first phase, they've agreed to have it in rural places, cities 10 lakhs and above. And that would include probably regular Goa, etc., or wildlife sanctuaries or beach resorts. And second phase, we are convinced that the government will extend it throughout the country. In which case, in fact, there are about 10 companies who ask for the same thing. Insurance, because of this reason, then it will be good for the industry because at the present interest rates, very high interest rates in India, and high cost of land, it's impossible to break even at the present.
How was 2012 for in terms of
2012 has been, like a curate said, the beach resorts have done very well in Goa and Kerala. The US market is still not recovered, as you know, nor has the British as well as the European. So there we affected the heritage circuits affected Rajasthan and other places. But that's made up by the huge success we're finding in Goa and Kerala, especially because of the problems in Egypt. 3-4 million people want to go there, but they are unable to go there because of the strike.
That's driving traffic to you.
Unfortunately, India, the approval process is so convoluted, it takes 2.5 years to get approval. Whereas in 2.5 years, less than that, China and Malaysia builds new properties to use it to. So it's unfortunate all these approval processes really hinder tourism development.
And real ATP, what sense are you getting for the year 2013? Yeah, it's out.
Well, I think it's a matter of cautious optimism. They feel that the US market is improving, especially the luxury segment. They're not so much affected by the economic indices because they have enough disposable income to spend $500-600 a day. But then I think it's a matter of 4-5 months by the time when the English market also, the economics in the continent also pick up. Because almost 80% of our guests are foreigners, so they totally depend upon these markets to improve.
And Europe, you said, let's say Germany and France, how are they for you?
Yes, that's what I meant, especially UK, and France, Spain, all these countries have been affected.
Do you have any special plans for these markets in terms of branding it a better way or stronger way?
No, most of these countries are strong far as Goa is concerned. So we have our own regional offices in these countries. So we assure them that for one, it's very safe in Goa, and plus it's comparatively an expensive destination. Your food and beverage, etc., is not what you would pay in other places of Europe. So overall, the packages you spend in Goa will be at least 30% cheaper than if you were to go to some other competing Asian destination.
You're also the head of the Hotel Association of India. So, how is the industry doing?
Well, as I mentioned, the business hotels are not doing too well because of the economic downturn. Plus, in micro markets like in
My card with
Thank
you.
you.
I couldn't
Thank
give
you.
it to you.
Yeah, of
yesterday.
course, correct. The micro markets like in Hyderabad because of the Telangana issue, or Chennai because of the supply of 2,000 rooms, or Bangalore. These micro markets are finding the demand-supply mismatch is affecting the occupancy level. But then that's a matter of time. We saw the same thing in Delhi after the Commonwealth Games, after the Asian Games. So after 2-3 years, we are sure that it will even out, and the overall demand-supply shortage, which has been existing all these years, will be evident.
And you've been seeking some support from the government, from the industry per se. Are you getting that kind of support that you want?
Well, what we ask the government is that don't penalize us. We are the highest employment generator. Entire tourism sector, hotels, restaurants, airlines, railways, transportation, up to the gift sector, we employ almost 9.2% of the total population of the country, single largest. And that comes to almost 53 million people employed in this sector. Can you guess how much is the employment generated by IT? Barely 8%. And you see the great interest. Somebody sneezes in one of the IT companies and headline news next day. See the contrast. It's so much more. That's the reason why when the Prime Minister had a presentation recently, he said, I didn't know it was so labor intensive. So he set up a committee with his own principal secretary as chairman to go through the 15 recommendations the industry had made to improve tourist arrivals, including visa on arrival to more countries and a whole lot of other issues. So in terms of setting up of companies who will put up hotels, there has been some very good income tax breaks. But the biggest problem, of course, are multiple taxes. The same tax, for example, the room revenue will get taxed by the central government, almost 12-13%. The same tax on the same base as the local government charges luxury tax, and there's a whole host of VAT. So altogether, the burden is almost 20%. So obviously, it's a heavy burden on the customer. Whereas the average collective tax in our neighboring countries is 0 in Hong Kong, but 5% or 7% in Malaysia, Indonesia, and those countries. So if you are competing with them, you must have the similar parity of taxes.
Finally, coming back to Leela, what has been the legacy of Captain Nair, and what would you like? How would you like to put your stamp on the company?
Well, he was almost 64, 65 when he set up the Mumbai hotel when I just got back from Cornell Hotel School when I was studying. And in these 65 years, he has guided us. And one thing we felt very important was, and that was communicated to us, was that in India, project execution is a major factor, and you'll have so many elements coming in the way. So, but then his message is always that once you start off something, be clear on your sides, and nothing can deter you from completing it. So every project which we had, we had issues like competition, poisoning, height approvals. It's amazing. Every project we could name over 3 or 4 things done by others to stop the progress. at a time when there's so much of business for everybody.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So, that's why when president, I always do things which will benefit everybody. We don't look at the benefits one particular group or the other.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.